Hello and welcome. I want to just talk a little bit about being okay, and that might be a random thing to say, but it's cropped up a bit this week. I've just been out in the car and my mind wanders when I'm driving. So this might give you a bit of an insight into how my mind works, which might not be such a good thing. But there's some things cropped up for myself and for clients this week, which is usually the case, that if I have a feeling, that means I'm not okay. And I want to dispel that, because we can have a feeling and be okay. So I can feel sad and be okay. I can feel angry and be okay. I can feel anxious and be okay. But for some reason, often we tend to think if we have a feeling, especially what we see as a negative feeling, we then feel like we become not okay. So I can be scared and okay at the same time. There's no rules on when we're okay and when we're not okay, other than the rules that we put on ourselves, if that makes sense. And why do we put on rules in the first place? Bear with me. These are my musings. This is how it works in my head. That I can feel it's appropriate to be sad at certain times and in certain places, but not appropriate to be sad in other places and at other times. So how does that work? If sadness or being sad as a feeling is the same wherever it is, then why do I put limits on when it's okay and when it's not? That to me says it's got nothing to do with the feeling and everything to do with my thoughts about the feeling and the place that I'm in. So for example, if my dad passed away almost 6 years ago. If I go to my dad's grave, then I feel in some way that it's okay to be sad. But if I'm out shopping and suddenly I feel sad, that's not okay. Why would I feel sad when I'm going around shopping? I get curious about why that is, and why is it okay, or I feel okay to be a certain way at certain times and not at other times. That's how it is being a human being. So I just want to give you permission to be okay with whatever's going on for you and whatever you're feeling in this moment, here, right now, and to just explore why that is. Maybe one of the things that you could do is to explore the rules that you have over certain things. Feelings, for example. What feelings do you feel or think it's okay to have, and what feelings is it not okay to have? I know for me personally, vulnerability, fear and scare are not feelings that I enjoy having. I'm not sure whether anybody enjoys having those feelings, but they're feelings that I would question and feel not okay having, if that makes sense. But the reality is, in certain times and certain places, it will be appropriate for me to feel vulnerable, sad and scared. If I think about it now, which is putting myself on the spot, if I know I've got to talk in front of a lot of people, I would feel scared and anxious. And in my head, that would be okay to feel scared and anxious because I'm going to stand in front of a lot of people. But that's just my thoughts about it. And would my thoughts change in a different situation? Yes, of course they would. If I was sitting there watching television and suddenly I feel scared and anxious, then I would say that that's not okay. When the reality is, that's my rule, when it's okay and when it's not okay to have certain feelings. And in actual fact, when we think about it, some of us, not me, I know my limits, some of us actually pay to be scared. I'm always saying it to my kids. They'll go and watch a horror movie. I say, why would you pay 20 quid to sit somewhere and have the living daylights frightened out of you? To me, that doesn't make sense and it's not okay. But that's my thoughts about it. Going on rides at fairgrounds, you catch me with my 18-month-old grandson going on the little teacups round and round, that's fine. That's where my limit is. The big helter-skelter rides up and down, not a cat in hell's chance. And because I never did it, I kind of think that my children possibly don't enjoy it because it wasn't something that we did as a family. My daughter's husband loves them. And when we went to Disneyland Paris last year, he was a bit gutted that he wanted to go on all these rides and we wouldn't, because our thoughts about the ride were completely different to his thoughts. So it wasn't the ride, it's our thoughts about the ride that made us feel a certain way. So I just want to give you permission to be okay with whatever it is that you're feeling whenever you feel it. You can be okay and have a feeling. I would hazard a guess that we don't question when we're happy and excited. Yeah. There's just certain feelings with certain rules that we have that are our rules, and if they're our rules, we're allowed to break them. Yeah, I want to put that out there. So it's about being curious about what rules we've got, why we have them. Some rules are there to keep us safe. In fact, most rules are there because we think that is what's going to keep us safe. The reality is that they're not. They keep us stuck. Our innate well-being, our intuition, our internal sat-nav, whatever you want to call it, is designed to do the best it can for us. I might do another topic on our brain and our mind and how they're sometimes working against each other, and our mind does the best that it can to keep us safe. If it thinks that there's something going on that it needs to let us know about, then it will let us know about it in no uncertain terms, but we don't always need to believe it. We don't need to believe the thoughts that we have all the time. So that's my what day are we on? That's my Monday afternoon musings, and that was what was going on in my mind as I was driving to Manchester today to pick something up. So yeah, welcome to being human. This is how it works. Sometimes things click, sometimes things, battle against each other, and often when we're trying to move forward with something, or we're trying not to be anxious, in order to try to not be anxious, we have to think about being anxious first, and that can sometimes keep us in a stuck place, which is a bit back to front. And excuse my French, I don't think there's anybody under 18 in this group, but ask about it. Which is why I often talk about doing things from the inside out and back to front. Our mind is always doing the best it can for us, and it does it with the best of intentions, but often the reality is that it's not always working that well. So that's my musings for today. I hope you enjoy that, and I will be back very soon. Take care.